What is going on, chat? What is going on? We are finally back with another video with Bellular News. I'm not going to try to say that fast. But this is the absolute chaos of Battlefield 6. And we're going to see what he has to say. Let's go.
I want to make a good game. That's a message that was sent from DICE's combat experience producer over to their principal game designer several years ago. And with Battlefield 6's release, it seems they have in fact made a great game. It's not a perfect one, but when we break down what worked versus what didn't, we can see how this team has achieved a stunning turnaround from 2042, which had a launch Steam score that looks like this, to the current Steam score, which could not be more different. Okay, here's the story you need to know. Battlefield 2042 was obviously a disaster at launch. Now, that team probably wanted to make a good game as well. So here's the thing. They never really got a chance to make a good game. And here's the story of why. They allegedly had just 15 months of development time, and they needed at least 6 more months. That's because the game went through multiple entire redesigns, from being a battle royale to an extraction shooter to a classic Battlefield game. Meanwhile, engine rebuilds kept resetting their progress, and staff attrition just, well, matched the chaos of the development environment. Basically, all odds were stacked against them. And what happened is that after that disastrous launch, EA hit the reset button. Senior leadership, they were replaced at almost every level. And most important was Respawn Entertainment's Vince Zampella, because he got control of the
this thing is the GOAT, bro. Seriously.
Whole franchise. Now, he's the man credited with making Call of Duty an utter powerhouse. And that stuff went down December 2021. After that, a humongous undertaking followed. Essentially, the 2042 team spent 4 years rebuilding that game into something better. And at the same time, EA then built up Battlefield Studios, which, I need to say, has not gone perfectly. There are some pretty spicy allegations we'll get into later in this video, but if the test of this overall group's work is Battlefield 6, well, the good news is that they have succeeded. Here's something fun to give you a taste of their success. Analia Analytics are an analytics firm, and they reported that the teams achieved 3.5 million Steam wishlists and 1.8 million pre-orders. That's a lot. That's $100 million in revenue alone.
Wow.
And on launch,
1.8 million pre-orders. That is insane. That is crazy.
Audiences had high expectations.
Oh, I heard a lot about Arc Raiders. Should we do a video on Arc Raiders? I don't know. But I've heard a lot about Arc Raiders. A lot about Arc Raiders.
EA did as well. After all, the beta was a massive success. It basically showed people a well-performing shooter, shocking enough in itself, that kind of echoed the best bits of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. And now that we're a few days after launch, we know that those high expectations have been met. Steam concurrent player count spiked at nearly 750,000 people. That's the 14th highest of all time. And as a lifelong Battlefield fan, yeah, feels pretty good. Server queues reached over 500,000 players at some points, but overall, things went incredibly smoothly. Minimal bugs, though there are bugs, looking at you campaign, but overall quite good. Not in the least because the one worst bug that happened wasn't really Battlefield Studios' fault, but it is one worth talking about because of how Electronic Arts and Vince Zampella reacted to it, and that is the story of the EA app. It really didn't put its best foot forward. Essentially, on PC it had an error on release. Now, because the game lets you install each part separately, the store then had to go and verify ownership at launch, and that ended up taking hours. It's insane that this was a problem, and it turns out that Vince Zampella, well, kind of went to the Randy Pitchford school of customer support. Just, he kind of did a better job of it. He told at least one commenter to just refund the game on the EA app and just buy it in Steam. That's not ideal for your pre-order bonuses, but it's at least quite funny. But you know what's even more telling, right? It's the corporate response. Because within 8 hours of launch, they fixed that problem, and anyone impacted got 24 consumable XP boosts to make up their...
The fix has been rolled out, but we aren't done. Anyone on EA app who has impacted will receive 12 hardware and... Oh, wow. Okay. So they are going to have a battle pass.
Plus a full free season.
I mean, I don't know how... I don't think... Like, bro, the game is good, so... Because now listen, we got to see the longevity of this thing, right? We got to see the longevity of this thing. So, that's where I'm more concerned about, is that how are they going to make sure that people, like, yes, everyone's excited right now, everyone's loving it right now, but how are you going to keep players from playing the game? Okay, that's the big thing about this, is that how are you going to retain the players?
The Battle Pass, that's pretty damn good. Now, the speed of the fix is one thing, but the speed of the make good is another here, and it does bear well on them. And what we can tell from both is that EA absolutely wants to make people happy, and as we've covered in this channel before, EA really needed to make sure everyone was happy. There's quite a lot hanging over this game. So, let's talk about what worked out and what very much didn't work out. Well, on the bright side of things, we've got an 84%.
What worked out? Everything. Everything.
Average and a 92% recommendation over an OpenCritic. That's basically brilliant. Now, some critics have got concerns over how safe the game is and how it's not really adding a lot new to the franchise, but, you know, as somebody who didn't really want what they added to the franchise before, I think I'm happy enough.
Yeah, I think, bro, they just need to get back to their roots, like Call of Duty needs to fucking do. They literally just need to get back to their roots. Bro, we haven't had a modern, well, I guess Battlefield 2042 is relatively modern, but not really. But that was ass. And then before that was Battlefield 5. So, like, bro, we haven't really gotten a modern game from Battlefield for quite a long time. Since Hardline.
What we overall see is multiplayer sticking the landing. It's obviously what we want the most from Battlefield. The teamwork, the objective play, gadgets, kits, basically all work for Combined Arms gameplay. Personally, I'm having an absolute blast. The sound design is still some of the best in the industry, and there's just a boots in the ground aesthetic that I think most people are on board for.
I like it. I love it.
Though. These critiques are around lessons learned from Call of Duty. And by lessons, I mean maps, UI, and progression. But those problems aren't really enough to sour the experience. Overall, it's great, and it seems that all of that EA Labs testing actually paid off. I guess a little similar to what's happened with Skate. Now, there's a slight discrepancy between critic reviews and Steam user reviews, as is the tradition. The English reviews are 82% positive, but if you flip it over to all languages, it's 76%. If you hop over to Steam Scout, well, you find out why. 50% positive reviews in China.
What the fuck? Okay.
Chinese, 64% in Russian. So for some reason, the Chinese and the Russians are not particularly happy. And it turns out that's basically because of localization. There are no Russian language options at all, and apparently the Chinese localization just blows. But maybe more important here is the Chinese reviews only make up 18% of the total, while English ones are 50%. That's quite the split.
Yeah, that's
one that exists in spite of a massive marketing campaign in China, so it seems that audience hasn't really shown up for this one in the way that they have for other games this year. But then there's the elephant in the room. There's the thing that personally I think kind of blows, and that's the single-player campaign.
All right, that's true. I'm telling you, I think if anything, if they at least made it co-op, I think it would feel, you wouldn't put as much pressure on how good the campaign is. But I did expect, because there's actually quite not a lot, but like the macro of the story just didn't make sense. Like they already exposed who betrayed, you know, who, I don't remember the characters at this point, but they've already kind of, like, they should have just made it linear. I don't know why they try to, you see the future and then you're doing the past, but it's not in a sense of it's kind of like how they did with Battlefield 3 on like, how did we get here? But it was far more in question when you were playing, it was Blackwell, right? I think it was Blackwell. I think that was his name in Battlefield 3. And you're trying to figure out, how did this Marine get himself in this situation with these CIA niggas, whoever the fuck they were? How did he end up here? Why is he chained? Why is he handcuffed? What's going on? Right? And so he's telling the story of what happened and what happened and what happened. And now you really get the picture of what's going on. And now you're right from the beginning of the game. Now you're back there in the end and you understand fully of what's going on. Like that, it still was a linear situation. But this situation, you already knew that she was in trouble. She betrayed everyone. And it wasn't a shocker because everything was already told already. So it just didn't, there was no shock factor. I think all they should have done was start at the very beginning and literally just went from there. I don't think they should have shown any of the cutscenes where they were breaking into our house and all that. They did not need to do all that, in my opinion.
Widely disliked, and you know what? There's a lot of reasons why, and there's a story behind its development that you actually may not know. So, this stuff actually does matter. And the reason why is because despite there are, like, perceptions of nobody giving a shit about a campaign for Battlefield, and by the way, I'd count myself as someone who really thinks Battlefield shouldn't be bothering with those, an EA survey of beta players saw 30% of people excited.
Wow, 30% returns to the campaign. Oh my god. That's crazy.
About the return of the campaign. I don't think they'll be excited by what they got, because what they got is a set of levels that are loosely...
Yeah, it didn't really... Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't think I kept saying, but like multiple times I've said that it felt like a co-op campaign. It didn't really feel immersive, really. It felt like a co-op mission.
And around assets from multiplayer maps that lurch you around from set piece to set piece with this strange wraparound cutscene based narrative that's basically just designed to set up the eventual battle royale that we're like 99.9% sure will be dropping very soon.
Oh, brother. We'll see. I thought it was more of a rumor, but we'll see.
And it's weird. The dialogue and the narrative especially feel like they are from
there wasn't even that much emphasis on the villains of the story. It just, this was just not good.
First of military pulp novels. It's quite something. And the best way we could capture it here is to say that the vibe is basically that it seems like this was the first or the second draft of the campaign, and they basically had to go and make it. And that actually backs up Ars Technica's reporting. And this is where things get really interesting. So according to them, this campaign was freshly started in February 2024. And that's because Ridgeline Studios was shuttered. So it got shut down, and then 3 other studios picked up the work. And at that point, campaign development restarted. That then led to 19 months of working from scratch, whilst of course delivering the rest of the game, and they apparently still failed to hit the alpha mark by late spring 2025. And to give an idea of what that means, right? Generally speaking, an alpha would mean you've got all your features and your tech done, but maybe not all of your content. A beta would generally be all your features are there, all your content is in. So the fact that they still were not at the alpha mark in late spring of this year is, I mean, kind of insane, but after completing the campaign, completely unsurprising. You can see some missions like the one set in New York that actually do feel planned and like they actually got the time and the love that they deserved. And then a lot of the other missions just fall completely flat. They really do.
This one was, that was just...
Put some dudes in the map. And
what a damn hassle. Like, this shit was just like... I'm like, bro, this feel like the same shit I was doing on I think it was Modern Warfare 3 with the campaign. Like, dog, like, why can't... Bro, niggas do not... Like, bro, just make it mission to mission, no bullshit. Let's just literally... Everything is immersive. Don't have us doing all this stupid shit. Like, come on, bro.
Objectives, and that's basically it. But what's important is what we learn from this campaign.
Because they could have simplified it. They could have said, disable the SAM network, and it literally, you could start where, I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? They did not have to make a whole bunch of them, and they didn't have to do all that shit, bro. Like,
anything else highlights the cost and the risk of making complete, utter mega games like this one. So, let's dive into the cost. In case you're unaware, Battlefield Studios is a whole bunch of studios. It combines veteran franchise developers like DICE, Criterion, Ripple Effect, and then EA Motive, who contributed a team towards the campaign whilst also working on their Iron Man game. Now, Ridgeline was...
Did that nigga just say Iron Man?
Campaign whilst also working on their Iron Man game. Now,
Iron Man? Is no one gonna... Nigga, what? Oh my god. You know what? Let's continue.
Now, Ridgeline was the single-player studio, and it was led by Halo co-creator Marcus Leto. It was shuttered in 2024, and according to the Ars Technica report I mentioned earlier, they were asked to make a campaign whilst also building the studio with fairly little oversight to protect them and, just give them the stuff that they needed. So in total, Battlefield 6 was made by 5 studios and a whole support network's worth of staff, a shitload of people, and apparently it was not easy. Staff flagged to Ars Technica that stage gates were passed with prototypes and plans that really shouldn't have been. And just to kind of make that less industry lingo, essentially milestones, right? Like development milestones. Essentially, it seems that they were passed even when really they shouldn't have been passed, because basically there was a lot of shit to get done and the game had to move forwards. Apparently long hours were needed to manage the time zone commitments because this was a distributed team across loads of studios in loads of countries. This then led to a lot of burnout. A lot of their processes were hit hard. Some staff actually needed 2 weeks of leave to recover. Others needed 9 months, which I guess is understandable if you think about people maybe crunching for the entire development of 2042 and then crunching for a bunch of the development of this game. You would be kind of ran ragged. Anyway, this was also a project that still was delayed internally. So this is a game that was not pushed out the door. It was in fact delayed as compared to their initial plan, which certainly tells us that EA's initial plan probably would have, kind of killed Battlefield. It's very much not the timeline we're in now. I think it's also a good reminder that crunch...
I mean, of course, I don't necessarily understand all the business side of things when it comes to games, because I would rather want a quality made product, because you're talking because Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 people still play, and it's I would rather be more concerned about making a timeless game than a game that you're just trying to get released. I don't see why would you want to rush a game that will that could turn out to be something that could last for years, right? I mean, it really can. It just all depends on what they decide to do to continue it. But I know this can't be any worse than Battlefield 2042 at all.
Bad treatment of staff doesn't necessarily make bad games, right? That's a trap that we can fairly easily fall into talking about. Because sometimes the devs do want to make a good game, and they do make a good game. It's just real costly to them as people. And I guess the only saving grace is, that if Battlefield 6 succeeds in this very different and pretty difficult context of its development, and if it sells well and it reaches the goals of EA's old leadership, then perhaps the new incoming owners, there's a whole video about that story in the channel, maybe they may not see an immediate need for layoffs and efficiency hunting. But the cost does appear to have been significant here, on a personal level, but also on a structural level. As an example, EA Motive might escape with only half of their studio being absorbed into Battlefield Studios, but Criterion probably won't. And if you're the sort of person who loved what Criterion used to make, Need for Speed, WRC, like the Rallying game, you're probably not going to get that, because now Criterion has been consumed by Battlefield. But at least from the perspective of a Battlefield player, consumed by the need to build a live service that can actually sustain the machine that has built it. Because make no mistake, it is a huge machine, all of these studios, it's a shitload of money. And speaking as someone who was there for a lot of Battlefield 5, what you'd really be afraid of is that the game comes out and then it just trips and falls over and the content cadence just is not
because people
at least from what I can tell thus far, it doesn't seem we're in for a repeat of that.
And that's what's so weird. It's like how do people dedicate this much time? That's why 2042 is such a big mystery to me. Cause it's y'all spent all that time, but y'all know damn well this shit is ass, bro. Y'all know this is trash, and y'all still put that shit out. Man, it's same shit for Treyarch, especially Treyarch. Holy shit. I ain't even gonna talk about them.
Service. October 28th sees the beginning of the first season of this game. It'll bring a new map, new vehicles, new weapons, and a new mode. Now, a month later...
Okay. Oh, okay, I didn't see none of this stuff. Okay, so we got Rogue Ops, California Resistance, Winter Offensive. So we got Ice Lock Empire State during winter. Okay, I fuck with it. Oh, we got to get some snow. Oh shit, we got to get some snow. Okay, so I'm guessing. So that's gonna be so it's a time event map. The new map is gonna be Eastwood and Blackwell Fields, and there's gonna be a new mode with Strike Point, new vehicle, new carbine, new sidearm. Looks like a Glock. It looked like. New attachments, new sniper. Man, of course a new fucking sniper. How about give me a LMG or something. And then battle pickups. Oh shit. Okay. There's a limited time mode called Sabotage, a new shotgun. We don't need any more shotguns right now, to be honest. We don't need that. And another new sidearm. Okay. Alright, bet. I don't even remember seeing this shit.
Another similarly sized patch, and then the December update is going to bring in a reskin and a seasonal mode. You get all that alongside the Battlefield Pass, which of course will then be kicking off 3-month cycles of content. Now there's also the eventual release of the Battle Royale mode. It's actually being tested in Battlefield Labs right now, and at least if the rumors are to be believed, this will be a free-to-play companion for the main paid multiplayer game. So essentially following the Call of Duty model.
I mean, if y'all want to see me play the Battle Royale, man, maybe, bro, but I'm not a Battle Royale fan. I've never been. Not even Warzone.
Make a lot of sense, because let's be real, Call of Duty has never looked weaker, and if I was in Activision shoes, I'd be a little bit worried. I think Battlefield can genuinely do a little bit of damage to it here, and next year,
I believe that
big thing in the market called Grand Theft Auto 6, which will be
yeah, damn, bro, why didn't they just drop that bitch on PC? Shit. They need that shit on PC, bro. They need it, bro. I need, bro. I don't know what I'm gonna do, bro. But I feel so damn dumb if I get a PS5 just to play GTA, bro. Like that just would feel crazy, but it low-key would be worth it. But that's like me paying what? Basically a band or something? I forgot how much that shit costs now. But damn near a band just to play GTA 6. Like, that sounds insane. And then I can't even show it really because I don't even have an Elgato. So I'm going to have to get an Elgato. It's just, man.
Loads of consumer money that, you know, Activision will have to fight for, alongside a Battlefield that is far more competitive, maybe more competitive than it's ever been before. And things really go well for EA, they'll have one thing that Call of Duty very much doesn't have, and that is Portal. So Battlefield 6's Portal system was up and running even before the launch with user-generated modes, there's maps, there's server experiences, there's so
I do want to try it, yeah, I do want to try it.
Shipment map be built 2 hours before the game launched. There's throwbacks to games like
what the
SOCOM.
Fuck?
It is SOCOM.
Someone just made Shipment?
Camera. There's even a full zombies mode. I've seen people use the
UFOs
to make Space Invaders and Snake. There's so much cool stuff. Now, of course, it's early. There are some teething problems.
But it ain't like crazy.
New servers, and there's XP farm issues. A lot of people are just, you know, spending a lot of time killing bots to rank up their weapons. Because one thing is for sure, my god, the XP rates for unlocking all the stuff for your weapons are pretty damn slow in this game. Maybe that's something.
Are y'all doing that, chat? I'm not doing that. I'm just actually playing the game. Like I'm not really doing that. I ain't gonna lie. Low key.
But the big thing to watch out for is the success, or lack of success, that is found by Battlefield Portal content. Of course, if you go and take a look at, say, what's going on in Roblox, where, you know,
it's like kind of infected.
That get basically like tens of millions of plays, absolutely ginormous in scale. So many companies want similar user-generated content dynamics to be present in their games. Obviously, EA wants that. They talk about it a lot in like their, their quarterly earnings reports and such. So if they can get that, then, well, all of that Battlefield Studios development work will be supplemented by the community, and whenever you bring one of your operators into a Portal mode, it can be with whatever cosmetics and microtransaction things that they try to sell you for the main game. Ultimately though, my main takeaway is just how good I think this is for the industry. Call of Duty has not had serious competition in a long ass time.
Yes.
I'm being real with you, I don't expect that Battlefield will suddenly eclipse COD. It may well do for some like sub-segments of audiences.
I mean, at least right now. Like I told you, I think Call of Duty will come back very harsh. Like they will come back hard. Like I think I mean, yeah, I want to believe that they're gonna really bounce back after this, because this was embarrassing.
Call of Duty truly is ginormous, and look, for lack of
Oh, pause. Holy shit. Pause. My bad. Pause.
a better word, it gets out there to the normies more than Battlefield ever has. But with proper competition, those COD players should actually also get a better game. And these companies, whenever they've got to spend more money on R&D to compete with each other, well, maybe they end up making better games. Maybe they begin to feel like they can't just go into farm
they need each other
mode, because if they do, well, the competitors will be out to get them. As for the developers, well, they've worked incredibly hard to make a brilliant game in release. And
man, like Call of Duty and Battlefield, bro, they like Joker and Batman, man. Like, y'all need each other, man. Like, you know, y'all need each other. Joker can't just be chilling and just not doing shit. No. Joker need to do shit so Batman can do shit.
Reward is to keep on making that game for better.
And then Batman don't do shit. Well, Joker just gonna get bored. You know what I'm saying?
Worse. We'll have to see how it goes. I actually do wish this game the best. To be selfish, it's nice to see one of my favorite franchises actually doing well. Okay, that's it for me. But if you want to understand who actually owns Electronic Arts now and the crazy shenanigans behind that, watch this video next.
I agree. This was really good, man. I really appreciate the video. And I think the only concern I have is just the longevity. I think it's just, you know, we have to see how well they keep their players, and, you know, hopefully they do what needs to be done. And that's all I really care about, really. I think that they've done very well so far, so I'm not necessarily concerned, but I do think that they just need to be certain on what they want to put into this game, because you don't want to ruin what is already there. You don't want to ruin that. But then again, I do think, right, because not everyone has to play Battle Royale. Not everyone necessarily, like, the Battle Pass doesn't really mean shit, and literally everyone does it. Pretty much. But it doesn't really need to. I think as long as they add stuff to the game, they add maps, they add game modes, right? During Christmas, they'll make every map snow or something. I think all that stuff is cool. I don't really think they need to do much, in a sense. Like, I don't think they need it, to be honest with you. But, you know, people want to make their money, and, you know, it is what it is. But I don't necessarily think it'll ruin the gameplay, really, because remember, all of this is choice. So I think as long as they don't make any crazy adjustments, I think we'll be okay. So let me know in the comments what y'all think. Make sure y'all give this a like, or give this video a like, and subscribe if you're new, okay? And yeah, I don't know why I try to make it sound. Anyway, point is, thank y'all, man, for supporting, and yeah, let me know if there's any other videos y'all want me to look at. I am thinking about Arc Raiders, but honestly, we'll stick on Battlefield 6 for now. But yeah, bro, we still got some videos to go, so we're gonna keep it rolling. But yeah, man, thank y'all so much, and I will see y'all on the next one.